Hello everyone. So today we're going to crochet next motif. It is on page 9, motif number 15. This motif right here. And the diagram for this motif is on page 11. This is the diagram. It seems to me that the diagram is so big it takes half page. I cannot really fit very well into the camera, but still I will it's a really repetitive pattern, and all we will need to do just to see at least one section. So welcome to those who joined me already. If you here, say hello. Where you from? Now I also want to let everybody know that I will have to take a break for some time. Not sure what week. I was thinking that this week I will not do anything, but seems to me I'm not as busy. Life as usual, as normal, but I still have a lot of projects I have to crochet, and because of that, I will not be able to go live as often, at least not twice a week. Hello, Jean. Also, Jenny. Hello, everyone. I see a little bit more people are here, but right now I will just start our lesson. And let's talk about materials that you will need for this motif. So in this text, you will need, of course, their recommendations for thread is number 40. Thread, they recommend a Japanese thread. You can use DMC Cordonnet Special number 40. Any thread for lace, number 40 will work, but not just that thread, not this number. You can go with finer thread, and this motif then will be, of course, smaller. It's a very easy motif, and we will, at first, when you're learning, you can use thread number 20 at first, or number 40. It's not too thick of a thread, but you can go if you are experienced crocheter, if you crocheted quite a bit already in Irish crochet lace, and if you crocheted over the padding cord, of course you can go with thread number 60 and even 80 to crochet this motif. And you will need, they recommend for some reason 4 meters for padding cord folded in half. I found it too much, and 2 meters will be plenty. It's enough, 2 meters folded in half. You will even still have enough left. And that's basically it. And you will need pencil. Pencil we will need for this part, for centerpiece. We will crochet our motif leaves first with a stem, and then we will crochet the button and separately, and we will sew button on top of this of those leaves later. So at first, let's look at the diagram. And as you already know, in Japanese books, they mark with 2 arrows. They are, you can see different. This arrow, like a triangle with a little line, this is the beginning of your work. And this arrow is the end of crochet. So this is what we are looking for in each diagram. So here's our beginning. We will begin right away crochet over the padding cord. We will start, of course, with a slip stitch, single crochet stitches, 15 of them. Here's the number 15 that indicates how many stitches you crochet for the centerpiece, for the round part. So this will be only one round, and then on the other round, the second round, will consist of these complex leaves. So after we will finish the round, first round, we will go and crochet only over the padding cord. And again, we see numbers here throughout the work. They give us numbers of stitches that we have to crochet and we have to count, which is very easy and convenient. So first row over the padding cord, 25 single crochet stitches. Then for this first section, you see sections 1, 2, 3, 4. So for this first section, we will turn our work and we will crochet again, you see, over the padding cord. Throughout an entire motif, you see red curve line. That means we are going over the crocheting over the padding cord throughout entire motif. So we will crochet over the padding cord, single crochet stitches and into back loops. These lines indicates that we need to crochet over the padding cord into back loops. After that, we will have to connect. Every time we turn, we will connect to the center with single crochet stitches and over the padding cord. You see the padding cord is going between stitches here. So single crochet stitch over the padding cord into the round part. And here we don't have lines under the stitches, so those stitches are made into, we will crochet in both loops of stitches in the circle. Then we will turn our work and crochet back. At first we will connect to the first section and we will crochet over the padding cord 20 single crochet stitches. After that, we will crochet only over the padding cord 5 single crochet stitches. And remember those little arrows, you see they show us the direction in which we crochet. Like this. Then we're going this way, following the arrow and going back. Turning. Turn our work and second section, crochet only 15 single crochet stitches. Right here, we are not going all the way to the end. We stop here, turn our work and crochet 9 single crochet stitches over the padding cord in the back loops, and then only over the padding cord 5 single crochet stitches. Then we're turning back again, section 3, and crochet at first 13 single crochet stitches we can fit here. Here they are. And then we continue 9 single crochet stitches and we connect them all to the section 2, into that unfinished row that we left when we crocheted only 15 stitches. So we will crochet 9 stitches. Then again, you see, we connect to the centerpiece with a single crochet stitch. Turn work and the broken dotted line show us which way we're going. So this single crochet stitch, after that we're going this way. We crochet 20 single crochet stitches over the padding cord into back loops of the previous row. After that, again 5 single crochet stitches only over the padding cord, and then the last row, turn your work and crochet 24 single crochet stitches over the padding cord into back loops. And after first leaf, we connect to the center 2 single crochet stitches over the padding cord. And then after that, we will repeat the second section and the third, following the same pattern, exactly the same pattern. So after you finish all 3 petals, we will make 2 single crochet stitches. 1 single crochet stitch here is made only without padding cord, which is kind of strange, but okay. And then we crochet 30 single crochet stitches for the stem, going back again over the padding cord and into back loops, we crochet 29 single crochet stitches and finish with single crochet stitch over the padding cord right here in our first last stitch on the circle, on the round part. And of course, back at the end, we will cut our thread, we will weave thread in, we will have to take care of our padding cord, and then after we finish the entire motif, we will make 27 single crochet stitches over the coil of thread, and we will have to wrap thread around the pencil. This is what they say in the notes. Wrap thread around the pencil 30 times and then crochet over this 27 single crochet stitches. And then when we finish that, we sew that center raised, basically this is called raised stitches. We take that piece and sew on top of our motif. And that will be it. So let's crochet, let's start. I will move my diagram away. You use your diagram, and I will show you how I do that. So I will put this piece away for now because this is my unfinished piece. And you know what? I need to go and get I will cut my thread off. I did not prepare another thread, so this will be enough thread for me to finish. We will come back to this piece. I will put this aside for now. So I use my favorite silk. Cut thread for padding cord. 2 meters is enough, as I told you. 2 meters, fold in half. And we will crochet right around the padding cord. There are a few things you can do. Sometimes to make it easy to start. It's not easy to start with padding cord. So you can do 2 ways. I will show you 2 ways of crocheting and starting. One is insert hook between padding cord strands, 2 strands, and make first slip stitch. And then crochet single crochet stitches. 1, 2. I will not count right now, I'll just show because I will unravel this piece. I will show you 2 different ways of crocheting over the padding cord to make it easy, and you will choose which method is easier for you. So after you crochet a certain amount of stitches, this is when you make this loop shorter. So you hold your stitches and pull on the thread on the padding cord until this loop will disappear, like that. I'm not sure why it's a little bit too dark in my room. I'm not sure if you could see very well. Probably this light is not needed. I should probably open my blinds more. Okay, so this is one way of crocheting over the padding cord. Now let me show you another way. For experienced crocheters right away start this way. This is how I always start. I just right away go into the loop, make my slip stitch, and I just go and crochet single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So this is not very easy for beginners to crochet this way. Here, crocheting this way, I don't have to worry about the tip of the padding cord anymore. It just, I crocheted over this right the way. Hello, Renee. And another method, third method then. So you have your padding cord, fold it in half, then cut another piece of thread. It can be the same, number 10. And just always keep it handy. It will be your thread that you will use all the time. So this thread, insert into the loop of the padding cord like this. Here it is. And I wrap around this finger to hold it easier for me. Take your working thread and right away you can crochet from this loop. Here's your padding cord, the main padding cord right in here. And you make your first slip stitch and then you start your stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this method kind of extends your padding cord here. And when you don't need it, this is what you will do. You pull on your padding cord, the main padding cord, slightly. And this is when the loop is very small, you can remove this additional thread. That's it. For our motif, I will use this little loop. I will leave it here. This loop, very small, that my hook can enter in. And you will see why I will leave it. So I have already my, now we continue crochet with motif. I have my 10 stitches. I need 15 stitches over the padding cord for the center piece of, center part of our motif. I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now, I will pull on a padding cord a little bit to make, because when you will crochet it will be straight line. Now pull on a padding cord a little bit so that your crochet will become curved like that. It will be just easier to connect. And connect, insert the hook into that loop where the padding cord was. You have your padding cord here. Move it on the back for now, drop it, and make slip stitch here, like that. After that, you can take the short tail of the working thread, cut it off. You don't need this, you don't want to drag it with you throughout your crochet. It's not needed, not necessary at all. And let's look at the pattern again, at the diagram. Now we will crochet so after the center, 15 single crochet stitches, we connect with slip stitch, and now we will crochet this part. So first thing, over the padding cord, we will crochet 25 single crochet stitches. So pick up your padding cord again, and over the padding cord, crochet 25 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, oops, 23, and my hook jumped out from the stitch. 23, 24, and 25. So we have 25 stitches. Don't mind that this will twist quite a bit. It's okay. I would recommend for the first row that we just made, well, first of all, you don't want to lose your stitch, so the best will be if you'll just stretch it slightly. And holding your stitches, pull on the cord slightly. I would recommend to pull enough so that stitches will be snug but not curved. Make sure you don't see your padding cord through the stitches. And you can actually untwist it by doing this. It's very easy. Now it's not twisting anymore. Next step, we will go back, turn your work, and we will crochet going back on that row into the back loops of each stitch and over the padding cord. You can crochet right the way over the padding cord. I found it uncomfortable, like turn your padding cord together with your work and right the way crochet stitches 1, 2, 3, and so on. You can do it this way. And in previous videos you saw how I hold my padding cord. At the very beginning on those turns, it's not very easy to crochet here when there's nothing to hold onto at the beginning. So what I do, so I will unravel those 2 stitches that I just made and show you the way I do this. And if you like this method, you can use this too. So turn your work. And hold the padding cord with your right hand. I hold it with a pinky, just pick up my padding cord, and this is how my hands look like. Working thread, padding cord between in my fingers with fingers of left hand, and it's easier to start this row. Kind of have more to secure your fingers, and believe me, it's way easier. So our next row, 24 stitches over the padding cord and crochet into the back loops of each stitch. There is no need of counting, because if you crochet 25 stitches over the padding cord one direction and then you going back on that cord and crochet stitches, you can fit only 24 single crochet stitches, unless you do some kind of increases. But if it's not indicated, you will have only 24 stitches to fit. This first row always and second is not the easiest part for beginners, so be very patient when you crochet. And once in a while, make sure that your stitches on the back snug together and you don't see padding cord. My padding cord is already between stitches. I can see it's cut between them, and also I can already remove this loop by pulling on my padding cord, holding stitches, pull on a padding cord and make this loop small. Just remove it like this, and make sure you don't see the padding cord here on the turning part. If you want your work to look neat. And then continue crochet. So you have to look for that neatness of your work, so that padding cord is not seen anywhere between stitches. So like every 10 stitches you can stop and pull on a padding cord. And let's continue crochet into the back loops over the padding cord. Be very careful not to skip your stitches, because it's very easy with fine thread. Skip stitch 1 or 2 from the previous row. For that reason, if you don't want to skip and see all your stitches very well, use magnifying glasses or magnifying glass that you can attach to your table. That way you will not lose any of your stitches. Okay, I have my 24 stitches, and it's kind of look wavy, so this is what padding cord is for. You can remove this wave by pulling on the padding cord. And if you look at the motif very carefully on the picture of itself, you could see that this motif, let me show the picture instead of my motif. So you could see how it looked like. It's straight line in here everywhere. They are straight. They are not curved, nothing. Of course, you can experiment with this motif and see what else will happen if you pull more, make it curvier than it's expected of you. So I made sure that all my stitches are snug. I don't see anywhere my padding cord. This is how it will look like. After the 24 stitches, second row, we connect this section 1 to the center piece with single crochet stitch and over the padding cord. So let's find our next stitch on the center piece, that round part. We go into the first stitch and we crochet single crochet stitch, and remember we insert hook in center into both loops. I wonder if I can zoom here. Yes, I can. You can see better this way. Wonderful. All I need to do is keep my hands in one position. I will try my best. Okay, now this is how your work look like. After this, we turn our work like this. And next row, third row, we crochet 20 single crochet stitches. And here we have to count. We don't want to miss any. So 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, And now, of course, you can see I pulled on my padding cord. You want to avoid padding cord seen here on the turn. So make sure it's not there. And padding cord is not seen between stitches. It's also important. So I have 10 stitches. I need 10 more. Again, going into the back loops and over the padding cord. It will be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, and 20. Again, I will make sure that my padding cord is not seen anywhere. It will make your row a little bit wavy, so you want to remove that wave and make sure that everything looks straight. And now we crochet only over the padding cord 5 more stitches. So we have 20, 25 of the padding cord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After that, we turn in our work again, like that. And again, I will use my technique of crocheting at the turns when we have only one row and our stitch is quite wobbly and it's not easy to crochet. So this is how I hold my padding cord with a pinky and crochet. So this time we have to crochet 15 single crochet stitches only. 1, again into back loops and over the padding cord. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now I can actually remove the loop, pull on a cord like that. And sometimes you have to go and pull on each strand separately to remove the padding cord here. You see it's supposed to be like that, a little bit of first section, second section. They are not connected. So we have 10 stitches, 5 more. 5 more stitches. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 15. Like that. So we are not going to the very end. We just stop here, 15 stitches. And then we turn our work. We're going back like that. And crochet over the padding cord 19 9 stitches, only 9 stitches over the padding cord and into back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And after that we crochet only over the padding cord 5 more stitches. But before I will do that, I will make sure that my padding cord is nowhere seen, not showing itself anywhere. And finishing this row, only 5 stitches and on padding cord only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. Why 5, 6, 7, 5? This is what happens when you crochet for a long time motifs and they have long rows and you continue crocheting and counting. I think I am tired. I really need a break. So now we will turn our work again, and this time we will crochet 13 stitches to fit here and 9 stitches on that second section, first row of second section. So again we crochet over the padding cord, so first we make 13 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me remove this already. I don't need any more. It's easy to crochet now. And crochet to the end. So here we will fit 13 stitches. 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. The last stitch will be always tough in here, so make sure that your stitches on the back also look neat. And we continue right here. So when you look at the diagram, for those of you who just joined and never saw heard me explaining this, so those dotted line, broken line, show you where do you have to connect those stitches. You connect them right here to the second section of the first row of second section. So let's finish that row. And we'll continue over the padding cord, of course. When you go down, drop down basically 2 rows, make sure that this stitch is tight and you will not have gap in here anywhere. So that's why it's important to crochet tight. So 9 stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is when you don't want to break your hook. And if it looks kind of funny, so this is what padding cord for. You can always, by pulling on a padding cord, fixing stitches and making sure that padding cord is not shown anywhere, at the same time you can fix the way it look. It will be a little like drop down. It's not straight line, of course. But all is needed to make sure that padding cord is not shown anywhere on the back. Now, after that, we again connect to the center piece. Again, we go on and find the next stitch right here and connect with single crochet stitch over the padding cord. Now we're going back and crochet 20 single crochet stitches. So turn your work and into this row 20 single crochet stitches. Of course, we will not go to the very back end. We will stop at some point and crochet only over the padding cord. So first we will make 20 single crochet stitches into the back loops of the padding cord. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. I will stop and adjust my padding cord. You see how the row wavy, and you can see stitches here and stitches, not stitches, the padding cord thread between stitches. You want to avoid that, so I will pull on it. So I have 10 stitches, 10 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And 20. And again I will adjust a little bit my cord. Make sure it looks neat. And now only over the padding cord 5 more single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, if you, let's look at diagram quickly. So This is what I made: 20 single crochet stitches, 5 over the padding cord, and the last section, number 4, we crochet only 24 stitches, and then we connect and crochet over the round part of motif 2 single crochet stitches over the padding cord. So after 24 stitches, turn your work and crochet 24 single crochet stitches of the padding cord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll adjust padding cord. And 14 more stitches. So we have our 10, and continue to the very end of the row. So throughout all this motif, what you need to pay attention to, that your stitches are tight, that you check on your padding cord every so often, 5 to 10 stitches, you stop, adjust your padding cord, make sure it looks nice and neat, that you actually don't see your padding cord anywhere. It shouldn't show itself between stitches. And it's only easy to fix when you crochet a small amount of stitches. Make sure that you use magnifying glass. And when you're learning, only learning, first time, you don't have a lot of experience, pick up thicker thread. It's okay when you're learning to use thicker thread, at least to learn the technique. And then when you feel comfortable, this is when you have to go and crochet with fine thread. And at the end of each row, it will be quite tricky here. So it's kind of wavy. You see how my stitch, the last row, look like. It's okay. It's what you're looking for. And use your padding cord to straighten it up. Not just fix the padding cord where it's showing itself, but also fix the shape of your motif. My edges right here kind of, they turn in one direction, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I did not make them straight. You can give it, I don't really like these straight lines in crochet too much, in Irish crochet. You want your motifs look more natural, like in nature. So I really didn't pay attention to that part. Curvy, that's okay. So now we will go to the centerpiece again and looking for next stitches. So we connected here already. Now to the next stitch, we crochet 2 single crochet stitches, 1, and into next stitch over the padding cord. So between leaves we will make 2 single crochet stitches. So this is how your work will look like with the first leaf. So I will not make second and third because it's all the same. It's repetitive. You repeat the same thing over and over again. Trying to find my right side and wrong side. So you repeat the pattern for second and third leaf as for the your first leaf. And remember to, between two leaves, make 2 single crochet stitches into your center part. After last leaf, we will crochet stem. So you can see how I took 2 meters padding cord and I still have long piece left. So probably not even 2 meters needed. I would say 1.5 meters for padding cord folded in half. Why did they say 4? I have no idea. Probably they made a mistake and you have to fold it twice and have thicker cord. You can try to do this. So now we made our last leaf, and let's look at diagram one more time just to make sure we're doing everything according to the diagram. So here's our last leaf. You see that there's no stitches, they don't give it to you. That means that you have to refer to this or this pattern in diagram because this is the repeat of those two. So after the last row for the last section is done, we crochet 2 single crochet stitches in the center part. We make our stem 30 stitches, then going back make 29 over the padding cord in the back loops, of course, and then make our last few stitches to finish this motif. And then we will go and crochet the center. So let's make our stem. I think I will undo it because I don't know, did I make? Oh, okay, I see. So I connected once on a look like, and one more time. So 2 single crochet stitches again after the last leaf into the center, and now only over the padding cord we crochet our stem. So we crochet stem 30 stitches. If you want it shorter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I will stop here for a second. As I crochet, it becomes a straight line. I want my stem a little bit curvy. So to have it curvy, I will pull on my cord already because I already have 20 stitches. Every time you pull on a cord, your cord become having a shape. Of course, it will curve in one way, this way. If it's too much, for example, let me show you. If I pull too much, right, it's too much for you. You decided, oh, I don't want it so curved. So all you have to do, gently move your stitches back to where they were, and then the curve changes. You see? So I will leave it like this. This is enough for me. I don't want it too curvy. And I continue. I have 20 stitches. I will go and make according to the diagram. I will finish and make it 30. So I have 21, 22, 23, 25, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. 30. After this, I will still pull on a cord slightly to make sure that I still have the curve. You see, it's not straight line. I decided to curve it a little. Now I will go back. I'll give a bigger curve actually. Okay. Now going back on the stem and crochet into back loops 29 single crochet stitches. And this time I'm not counting, it's just all you need to do. Make sure that they look neat, your stitches, and your padding cord is not showing itself anywhere between stitches. So after a little while after like 10-15 stitches, I can remove this loop. And again, I receive sometimes emails with questions that ladies writing to me that they repeat everything the way I show and it does not look the same. Well, this kind of crochet require a lot of patience, ladies, and of course it will be exactly the same because our tension is different thread, different crochet hooks we use, so of course it will not look the same. But if we're talking about neatness of your work, this is something I cannot help with. I teach you and show you, I help you with advice how to crochet, what different techniques, but neatness, it's up to you. If you crochet too fast and loose, you have to work on your tension and on your speed. There is no speed needed. You have to crochet with a good pace of crochet. I'm not talking about too slow or too fast, but fast crochet will not produce a beautiful results. You need to crochet neat. Each stitch has to be uniform and the same as the previous stitch. And this is only can be achieved by looking at your tension, in which is really easy to fix. Of course, when we crochet with yarn, it's way easier. But when we move to crochet onto fine thread, this is when it's becoming quite challenging. So to do that, to make sure that your tension is working, I, for example, use my pinky. So I go like that, and then I hold my thread this way, so my thread always goes around the pinky, and this help, and I also help with those two fingers. I kind of close it here, bend my fingers to hold thread tighter, so this helped me a lot. Also, every woman is different. We all have to find our own comfort in crochet, how it is easier to hold the hook, how it's easier to hold your thread. A lot of people crochet, for example, holding thread like this, like I just hold it right now. You see, I personally cannot crochet this way. I crochet with my finger up. Do you have to follow exactly the way I crochet and hold my hands? No. It's easier to learn crochet right the way this way, but if you learn crochet in a different way and learn how to hold your hooks and thread in a certain way, and it is comfortable, so you don't have to change anything and do what I do. But make sure that all your stitches uniform tight. You don't see anywhere your padding cord. This is mainly belong not to the technique of your crochet, but to neatness of your work. So now I finished with my padding cord, and I can do two things. First of all, this is my front of my work. Everything has to be on the back. There are few things we can do with padding cord, and I will show you. I showed you many times in the previous videos, and I will not do that this time. So when we cut short piece of tail of the tail of padding cord and then sew over this padding cord. Also, I started doing it recently, and I will unravel this piece here to show you what I mean. And you already saw that in previous videos. So I just recently realized that why do I have to sew around? It takes time, and I can do it easier way. So like 7-10 stitches here. At the very end of your work, when you still have to make a crochet with the padding cord, pick up your padding cord and fold it here. So fold it here at the end and crochet. Now instead of 2 strands, I have 4 strands. So let's do that. And at the end, finishing always is tricky. Always you need to be very, very careful, slow. Do not go fast with your crochet. You have to have to make sure everything looks neat. So I crochet really tight here so that my that no one will notice the change in the row, that the row becomes thicker because the padding cord is thicker, right? It was 2 strands, now it's 4. Of course it will be a little bit thicker. So I'm at the very end. I made my last stitches. So here is the tricky part. I have this folded loop. Now I have to pull on a padding cord here on this side, but be very careful not to totally remove this loop. So you don't want to let it go totally. So insert your hook into that loop and hold in this way. You see how I do that, right? Now my hook in here. Now I will try to pull more. Pull on the padding cord more until this loop basically disappeared. It's only fit on a hook, like this. At the same time, watch for your stitches here. They need to be neat. Padding cord will be on the back. And now crochet here the slip stitch to make it even neater. So we have stitch on a hook. We inserted hook into the loop of the padding cord, and I will suggest you to go and insert the hook also into the last or first stitch of the round part, and crochet slip stitch here. Crochet all this together. Pull thread with the hooks through, stitch loop of the padding cord and stitch that was on the hook. That's it. Pull your thread out, and you still can pull on a padding cord slightly to remove that loop, that you will not see it at all. That way your work look neat. And what we can do now, here's my working thread. Here's my padding cord. Now we don't need padding cord anymore. We took care of it. We hid this. It's hidden inside the stitches. So we can cut it off. And we can weave in our thread. So here's the front, and here's our last stitch that we made. So when you will sew it, make sure there's no gap here. You see, I have that gap. So if you move your thread on the back of your work, the gap will disappear. So make sure that when you weave in, this gap is also removed by your thread. So let's weave in. And I will weave in into those stitches. When I was connecting my sections to the with single crochet stitches, I use those stitches. It's really tight here. So. And oh my thread is tangled all over around the leaf. Okay. So here I pull on a thread and this gap between stem and center is gone. Like that. And so continue weaving in. I have silk thread, so I really need to weave in quite a bit, because if I will not, I chose the wrong needle. If I will not weave in well enough and long enough piece of the padding cord of the working threads that is silk, it will unravel. It will, at least it will become loose at first, but then with time your stitches will start unraveling. So it's very important how you finish your work. Every single step we do in our Irish crochet is important. How you start, how you crochet, and how you finish your work. And so, as you see, I went into the leaf section to weave in my thread, because stitches are there really nice and tight, and my silky thread will not go anywhere. So since again it's a silky thread, I was going like that. I went to the leaf. My thread goes one direction to lock it in place so that this thread will not move with time. And you will probably ask me like why it will move. It will move, believe me. We will wash our pieces, we will wear it if it's a wearing piece, and thread is moving. You don't see it. It's not, with time it will just go and will come out. So now I went this way. I will move my thread back another way. Opposite direction. I don't know why I got this needle. It's so thick. Okay, that's it. Now I can cut off my thread. It's safe. It's weaved in. So motif is done. And now we can make a centerpiece. So let's make that one. For centerpiece, we will need pencil. And I don't have, just a second, I need to pick up a different spool for thread. And pencil. Pencil or Sharpie. I wonder which is thicker. Well, I will not risk it. I will take pencil and we have to weave in thread around the pencil 30 times according to the diagram. So I will just remind you that here we have a little extra diagram for the center part. So this 30, number 30 indicates you have to take, and of course, if you read notes, if you know Japanese, I translate it through my photo Google. And so you have to take pencil and wrap thread around the pencil 30 times. After that, we will crochet around this coil of thread 27 single crochet stitches. So let's do that. It's going to be quite thick piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 23. What did I do? Oh my God. Okay. I should count in Russian. I wouldn't mess it up. In English, I messed it up. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So after that, I already prepare my hand for crocheting, and you take off this coil of thread off the pencil. And very carefully not to lose all this. Make first slip stitch. And then crochet 27 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when you crochet buttons like that, they are also, or rings, they also need to be neat on the back, on the wrong side. This is our right side, this is our wrong side. You want them to look nice and neat, of course. And there are a few ways of making them neat. And the way I do that, first of all, once in a while, you already saw that technique. I put my scissors inside the coil of thread and open it very little, just to organize this thread, that it will look neat and will not have any thread in the middle. Also, the way I crochet my button, I will show you one more time because I showed it before. So normally we will crochet and move hook with a hook thread this way, right? Like that. I throw it opposite direction like this. It's easier to throw this way to have your thread on the back of those. It didn't work very well. Why? Because my thread here, just a second, I don't want to lose my stitch. Okay, because this thread here, the coil is kind of messy, so I have to pay attention really well. to how I crochet. But when I crochet around the buttons like that, or rings, I move my hook in the opposite way, like that. I grab my thread this way. That way, my thread on the back, you see, slow motion for you, like that. That way, this thread on the back will look neat. And it's, even if it's not neat, still easier to fix. So once in a while, when you crochet decorative buttons like that, make sure you come back and see that your stitches are snug together and you don't see the thread of the coil. Because you never know which side you will use. I prefer in buttons the wrong side. I don't really like to use this one because I don't like this edge. I will turn it upside down and I will sew it this way. So let's continue. I lost my count, and here it is really not important. It's just a button, or you can call it, I call them buttons. You can call it decorative ring in the padding cord, basically, because this is what we do. We crochet over the padding, over the thread on a circle, really thick, 30 strands of thread in the coil. And check for those stitches quite often on the back. It's easier to correct them and make them look neat when you don't have, when you crochet like 5 stitches and check on the back. Then you can correct them and make them look neat. Because when you will finish all 30 and they are messy, it will not be very easy to fix it. I would say it will be impossible. So crochet a few stitches, look on the back. So I did, yes, I really lost count. I'm not sure it's 27 stitches. I think it's even more than that, but it does not matter really for the ring. So that's it. Now we finish with slip stitch, cut long enough piece because we are going to sew this. We are going to sew this piece, this button, to the flower right here, like that. So of course, you see, you saw already, I turned my motif. This was the right side. I turned it to the wrong side. Actually, I wonder how it is in their book. Oh, they also do that. Okay, I'm not the only one. So now we will take our needle. This time I will get my really fine needle so that I will not struggle moving my stitches. So thread the needle with your working thread, and we will sew this to the, if your end of thread is quite messy, you can always cut that little piece. Sometimes thread is spliced at the end and it's not easy to thread the needle. So now we will sew our button to the centerpiece of the motif. And since I use the same color thread, I really don't look on the back. As soon as it looks right on the front, right here, and make sure that you do not, that your centerpiece from motif is not showing through. Cover it. And sew this to the leaves. And also try to make sure it's nice and neat. If you see, look very well, careful at the button itself, you see those bumps. So when I come from the back to the front of the button, let me show you. So you can see where I'm between bumps. So now I will lay my thread over this bump right here. I'll go, you see where the thread coming from here between those two bumps. Now I go into the next, lay my thread across so that you will not see where I sewed it. Like this, you see? And do it again and again until you finish sewing your motif together, two parts together. So while I'm sewing it, I just want to ask all of you who is watching my videos, please like them. This help a lot for my videos to um, somehow jump in a list of the videos for crochet, uh, and somewhere up in the list of other videos, and other people could find me and see my video tutorials. Please comment. You can always watch my videos later. They are recorded, they are saved. And if you have questions, you can comment under my videos. Comment as questions. I will always see your comments. I will receive information that you commented. And if it's a question, I will always answer. So you see, here's my stem. It's behaving kind of in this way and that way. And you know, you can decide which way you want your motif. You want your stem like that. You want your stem this way. It's up to you. So I'm almost done with my with the sewing the button to the motif. Just one more time, and I can weave in thread. Of course, we have to weave it in again. We just sewing the button to the motif. And then right here, now we can weave in our thread. And since we're dealing with the button, the best place to weave in your thread is the button itself. And this is what I will do. I will use the opportunity that button is quite generous in space, and I can hide my thread inside. Even you can see I'm doing it on the front of motif on the right side. You still cannot see where I hide my thread. Still you can do it very neat inside. And then I will just move my thread to the back on the wrong side of motif and cut off my thread. This will be it. Can cut this thread off, and motif is ready. Here it is. I would actually add extra layer for this motif. Crochet one on a round without stem and without the button, just to put behind to make more petals. Will look also cute if you add more petals here. You can add them on those sides also. I think it will look neat. So here it is. This is our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like my videos, share it in your Facebook groups if you own your own group, or share my videos in other groups if it's allowed. Crochet, enjoy, comment, ask questions, and have a good rest of the week. That's it for today. Goodbye.